Netflix recently dropped 2 trailers for a new miniseries premiering on September 21st called Maniac. The first trailer was just a short minute-long teaser that featured the 2 stars of the series, Jonah Hill and Emma Stone, sitting across from each other at a table. But it did give us some important information. They are both wearing matching uniforms, gray zip-up onesies, gray socks, and white slippers that look like something you would wear in a hospital. They are both wearing a patch on their right shoulder that has some kind of strange symbol and some writing on it, but despite my best efforts, I was not able to make it out. The most important detail to take away from this short teaser, though, is the cards they're wearing around their necks. They appear to be some kind of key cards with a colorful stripe on each. It's not quite a rainbow, but more of a color spectrum, going from yellow to blue, or more accurately, from hot to cold. The patches on their arms appear to have a similar pattern. The cards are also numbered. Jonah Hill has number 1, while Emma Stone has number 9. What does this mean exactly? I have absolutely no idea.
The mind can be solved.
The lights in the nearly empty room begin to rapidly change color, which might represent the importance of seeing people in a different light, or it might just be representative of the changing setting and tone that I suspect this show is going to have. Let's move on to the next trailer. This trailer opens up with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone sitting with several different cameras pointed at their faces. The scene switches between the two as a doctor questions them. Something that also switches between the two is a numbered sign on the wall. 0.1 when the doctor is questioning Jonah Hill, and 0.9 when he is questioning Emma Stone. The really interesting thing about this is that we can actually see the sign flipping between the 2 numbers, as if the scene is changing in real time. The doctor asks them a couple of questions, and we learn that the 2 are taking part in a drug trial. During this brief interrogation, we see that Jonah Hill's character is just tired of feeling this way. Whatever sickness he has, be it mental or physical, has broken him down and left him desperate enough to try anything. Emma Stone, on the other hand, has become angry. She becomes short with the doctor questioning her because she is not convinced anything can make her feel better. After this scene, someone places a toy capital letter A on a black flat surface. I think it is worth mentioning that whoever is moving this letter A is using a pair of surgical tongs to do so, like it's a piranha or something. Anyway, then we get the Netflix logo, and we see Jonah Hill coming out of a large metal white door, looking just as confused as I was watching this trailer. He's in a different outfit now, switching out of the gray spacesuit for a smart dress shirt, vest, and tie combo. We can see only a fraction of what's in the room that he's walking into, but it's intentionally blocked from our vision. My guess is this is a scene of him leaving the sanitary white safety of the lab for the first time in the show. Maybe it's the finale, maybe it's the first episode, but I would bet that's what this scene represents. Next, we see Emma Stone's character, also sporting a new look, looking at the schedule in a bus terminal. Suddenly, the letters on the schedule board thing begin to change, and not in the way that they usually do. They begin to scramble and then fade away, except for the letter A. In the center of this black flat surface is a large capital letter A. The only letters or numbers on the board that don't change is the time, being displayed on the top right of the board. It reads 11:17. I'm sure that number will be significant because numbers seem real significant in this show, but I couldn't find anything that seemed like it was definitely the answer. I'm gonna get real with you for a second here, folks. I may have gotten a little out of hand with my research for this portion of the video. You see, the very next scene we see Emma Stone's character sitting in the bus station as Jonah Hill's character walks by. What stuck out to me, though, was the pattern on the wall behind her. It's the same color spectrum that is on their numbered keycards. So this led me to thinking, okay, if he's here, then that means he's connected to her, and that means that everything is connected, and the colors are connected to the numbers. There was a short period of time where I looked like that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny, just pointing to this wall of nonsense. I tried to find whatever I could on 11:17. There was a Bible quote about the importance of sharing your burden, which could be very relevant, or not relevant at all. I also looked up historical events from November 17th, but didn't find anything that seemed right. It's also possible to add 2 of the 1s to the 7 and end up with a 1 and a 9, representing the 2 characters in the show, but that just felt like I was grasping at straws. I thought maybe 11:17 was alphanumeric code, but that just gave me a K and a Q, so that probably wasn't it. One little detail I found while doing my research on the date November 17th is that it's the 321st day of the year. It's like the number itself is a countdown to something. But again, that is probably nothing. So I started thinking about the colors again. And that led me to sites about numerology and how computers assign all colors a number, and it all kind of peaked with me just googling what color is the number 11. I think the act of doing that made me realize this was all really, really stupid. And I was not going to get some grand reveal going down this particular path, so I should probably just continue with the video. So after the bus station, it cuts back to the lab, and Emma Stone is looking at what appears to be a Rorschach test, but the picture changes. It switches to a picture of the perfect nuclear family. A mother and father and 2 children enjoying dinner together. Throughout these last couple of scenes, that doctor character has been monologuing about the power of the mind, and it ends in a room full of his test subject, giving him a very hesitant round of applause. This is the first time we see any drug trial participants other than numbers 1 and 9. I assumed that there were at least 7 others due to Emma Stone's number 9 status, but in this scene I counted 10 test subjects. Let's skip forward just a tiny bit, and now we actually get to see what this drug trial entails. The subject puts their head between 2 big accordion-looking things, and then things start to get weird. I don't know if you thought things were weird before, but man, we are just getting started. Now I'm going to show you what this next part looks like at normal speed. Now let's slow it down and go through everything we just saw one by one. Okay, it starts with a road, and everything seems normal. I think this represents the beginning of a trip. In this case, a very psychedelic drug trip. Then, for a few frames, 2 people in white fade in over the road. Then, they disappear, and a book entitled The Full Moon Seance fades in. There is a name on it I can't make out, and a date 1947. And you can bet I searched for what happened on November 17th, 1947, but I couldn't find anything. After the book disappears, an image of several people in tuxedos standing in the dark, and a person cloaked in red in the center of them, who appears to be floating. That scene is replaced by a man with computer-generated hair, in a computer-generated world, being seduced by a purple computer-generated character. At this point, the road in the background has really started to fade away as we get deeper and deeper into our journey into the absurd. Next up, we see a little girl with blonde hair. She finds a lemur locked up in a cage. It then cuts to someone reading a tiny note, and from the context, I'm assuming this lemur wrote this note. It reads, "Thank you. Because of my incompetence, I should be placed in the cone of a rocket and launched into space, so that Ellie's folks may perish." I can't read this word, she's covering it up with her thumb. "In whatever manner they deem correct. Thank you." I'm assuming that it says Ellie's there at that one point, even though it looks more like Evie, but I think it's Ellie because according to IMDb, the little girl is credited as Little Ellie. I could be totally wrong, and those 2 scenes might not even be connected, but that's just a guess. After the adorable little note, we see a guy with, something on his head dancing. This next scene combines my 2 favorite things, colors and numbers. It's a strange mechanical device that looks like it's barely being held together. It has some prime numbers written on it with different colors for each number. After a couple of frames, a flame grows out of the blue number 1. I'm assuming this will affect Jonah Hill's character in some way, but we will have to wait and see. This may also mean that he is also represented by the color blue. If that is the case, then we can safely assume that Emma Stone's character is represented by the color red due to this shot from the teaser trailer. However, I have no idea what the significance of any of that is. Next, we see a photograph very similar to the one Emma Stone was looking at earlier. It shows her and Jonah Hill as a happily married couple with 3 beautiful children. The perfect family. The last of these quick little hallucinations is a purple koala puppet. We can see some humans in the background of the scene, so this isn't like the computer animated scene earlier. The puppet in the foreground is certainly an anomaly. Finally, we see a car driving down a road and away from the camera. The same road that we began this trip on. We're finally coming out of it. The headlights of the car illuminate a very well-dressed Emma Stone, who is walking down this dark road in the middle of the night. Jonah Hill is revealed to be in the car and says,
"My mind is playing tricks."
"Yeah, dude, welcome to the party." We see Jonah Hill making a speech in front of some sort of government officials with Emma Stone watching nearby. Then we see more of them as a happy suburban family. Did you happen to catch the sports jersey that Jonah Hill is wearing? No team logos of any kind, just a blue number 1. We get some clips of a fantasy realm as well. Finally, Emma Stone opens her eyes. Everything goes quiet, and we get the title card. So what the fuck is this show about? Well, I'm not really sure. Making this video has left me with more questions than answers. Like, is there actually any significance to the colors and numbers? One line from the trailer that really stuck with me is, every time I separate them, they just find their way back together. They are connected in some way. It might end up just being a cliched love story, but this feels so much bigger than that. I found so much to comb through in just 3.5 minutes of footage. I absolutely cannot wait for the show to premiere. Alright, that's all I have for this one. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to this point in this video. What are you doing here? Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends to watch this video if you liked it. Please share it with people. And I think that's it. I absolutely cannot wait to watch this. Yeah, what did you think? Tell me in the comments below. Goodbye, let's get out of here.